Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, and also welcome back to Color Gab. And so a couple of things that we're going to do before we actually get started coloring, and before I show you the picture that we're going to do, is I wanted to show you a couple of pictures that I did that we want to kind of wrap up a little bit. Now, those of you that have watched my, whoops, I'm dropping coloring books everywhere, guys. Those of you that have watched my, I think it was last Color Gab, we did a picture out of the Emoji Crazy book, and I went ahead and finished it up off camera. So here is what this one looks like, and let me just, now I have these pictures in this big paper blanks journal that I have probably shown you guys that I got from the pen show, not this year, but last year. But this is the one that we started where I did the Neo 2s and where I said I was going to take the Pablo pencils and just kind of go over it with some highlights. So that is this picture in the Emoji Crazy book. I finished that up yesterday. Just finished putting everything on it yesterday, and that's how it turned out. It turned out okay. Now, a bit of bad news. Speaking of the Emoji Crazy book, you guys probably remember that I was also doing another one out of the Emoji Crazy book a while back ago in a Color Gab, and it was the one that had the hat and the little hat band and the stars and the smiling emoji. That one unfortunately bit the dust. I screwed that thing up, really borked it up beyond any kind of repair. It was totally irreparable. I mean, what happened was I was trying to put some ink tints on it, and I mean, it was horrible. It was just, talk about a bust. So that one wasn't even worth keeping. I just basically just shit canned it. Sorry, you know, pardon the français, but I totally just shit canned the thing because it was horrible. It was probably the worst thing I think I've ever done in coloring, even worse than when I tried to put the black gouache background on that one coloring page. I mean, it was horrible. So unfortunately that one bit the dust, and that was my only copy of that page because it came right out of the book. But this Emoji Crazy book is probably one that I would actually buy again. So if I do, when and if I do, I'll try my hand at that picture again. But yeah, that one just, I normally don't like to totally get rid of any of my coloring, but that one just was awful. So that one went to coloring heaven, I guess. But on a bit of good news here, I wanted to show you the finished product of the Buddy Color with Chalene, and I just did a little bit off camera. I did most of it on camera in the 3 parts, but how it turned out was that I had to do the butterfly and the little plant things up here on top of the eggshell. So I did that off camera, and then I put the pastel background on him. So I fixed up. I did this part up here, and then I fixed up the little stem where the stem was coming out of the pot a little bit to make it more green. It looked more yellow when I was done with it, so I wanted to make it look a little bit more green. But here is what the finished product looks like for the Buddy Color with Chalene. I really enjoyed doing this, and Chalene's picture turned out really, really nice. Really liked how hers looked, and I think we both had a really good time with it. So again, thank you, Chalene, for doing the Buddy Color with me. It was a total blast and a lot of fun. And yeah, and it came out of this Lacy Sunshine's Flower Pot Hatchlings coloring book. So now, let's go ahead and get started on what we're going to color today. And let me show you what we're going to do. It is out of the Lacy Sunshine's Flower Pot Pretties coloring book. Okay. So let me just show you what we're going to do. This is the picture that we're going to do. So what I did, now I decided to do something a little bit different. And as you can see, it kind of flops a little bit, like it's a little floppy because there's stuff on this paper to kind of, you know, that made it a little bit heavy. So what I did, I wanted to try something a little bit different. Today we're going to be working with the Faber Castel Albrecht Durer watercolor pencils along with the Polychromos. Last time we did the Neo 2, so I wanted to go ahead and do some Albrecht Durer today because I really love those pencils, and they work very, very well with the Polychromos. So what I did, now because this paper is very, very, very thin, very, not very good as far as like any kind of wet mediums go. So what I did was I took some of this clear gesso, and this gesso, was it Art Basics? Yeah, is the brand name. I was thinking it was from Prima Marketing, but I have some other stuff from Prima Marketing. So I took this Art Basics clear gesso, and I put a layer of gesso on the page here. And what I use to do that is I have, oops. All right, where did it go? What I use to do this with is I have these three real very inexpensive paint brushes, and so I will use these for my gesso and for my matte medium and stuff to put gesso on these pages. And then so I put a layer of that on there, and then I waited for it to dry. And then I came back with some acrylic paint. I have some Liquitex Basics acrylic paint, and I did this blue color, this blue paint on here. And so I waited for that to dry, because what I wanted to do was I wanted to have this paper, because I think without any kind of gesso or any kind of primer or anything on it, any kind of wet medium is totally going to destroy this paper, just because this paper quality really is not good. So I wanted to see how some gesso would work in my coloring book. So as you can tell, when I put down the acrylic paint, it did not go over onto the other side. You can see that it ghosted. Now, I had some wax paper in between the pages here so that it wouldn't get on my next page over here. And so when I was doing the acrylic paint, it kind of folded up and I got some paint on the back side, but that happens. But as you can tell, it did not really bleed through on the back half of that. And that is because of the gesso has really helped that out quite a bit. And so I wanted to have that layer of primer so that we could go ahead and try to do a little bit of watercoloring on here without having to worry about the paper tearing up or anything like that. So we're going to go ahead, as I said, and use the Albrecht Durer watercolor pencils from Faber Castel. And we're also going to use the Faber Castel Polychromos to do some highlights and some shading and stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and get some colors, and we will get started. All right, here we go. So we're going to go ahead and get started on the little flower pot right here. And there's quite a few bigger spaces right here to color in. So we're going to work on that quite a bit, I think, in this video. But before we actually get started, I'm going to go ahead and do my little disclaimer. I am doing this with a visual impairment in case there's anybody new that happens to wander onto this channel. I am doing this with a visual impairment, so that means I do have to get a little bit close to my work, actually pretty close to my work, so I can see what I'm doing. So I apologize if you end up seeing my head, the back of my head, the side of my head, whatever, maybe an eyeball peeking at you, but there's just no way around that. But I do the best I can to try to keep a lot of that out of the coloring. Now, I am playing with some camera angles to try to minimize also on a lot of that. So I'm hoping that I have this camera like really far to the right, and so I'm hoping that I'll keep everything in frame. I really hope that is going to be the case. I do check from time to time to see if we are in frame. So if we go out of the frame, I'm going to apologize for that. And again, I apologize for the possible appearance of my head. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to go ahead and take this color here, and I'm going to go ahead and get to work on this little flower pot right here. And now, one thing about these Albrecht Durer pencils is they're very, very, very pigmented, very extremely pigmented. So a little of this is going to go a long way. We don't really need a lot of pencil to do its thing. Now, as you can probably tell, it goes down, not really grainy, but it goes down really light, and I'm not really putting much pressure on this. It doesn't really require very much at all. And when we get to the water part, we're actually going to watch the magic happen. And then I'm just going to take a darker color because I'm going to try to get this to blend a little bit. But I am going to go back and do the highlights with the Polychromos. Okay, so while I'm coloring this in, just ask you guys, what have you guys been up to? Has anybody gotten any new coloring books lately? I got a few the other day when we went to Walmart, and that video, like I did a haul video on those. Now, that video may be uploaded by the time this one gets uploaded. I don't know. We'll have to see. It could be. But at the filming of this Color and Gab, that video is not uploaded just yet. And today is the 5th, I think. It's a Monday, June 5th. And so, yeah, that video still needs to be uploaded, and it may end up getting uploaded by the time, this video is. So I'm going to try to get that one uploaded before this one. Maybe upload that one while I'm editing this one. And I do have one more from Amazon that's coming. I had a few Amazon points racked up, so I did manage to, and I hope my head is not in the way very much. I did manage to get one with some Amazon points that I had. I didn't have very many points, but I did manage to get one anyway. So I'll be doing a video on all of those pretty quickly. But have you guys gotten anything lately? Have you guys gotten any new coloring books lately? What have you guys been reading lately if you are a reader? I finished up, and I've read this book before. It's a Stephen King. This one was called The Bizarre Bad Dreams. And it's a collection of short stories that he has written. I did read that when that one first came out. It was a few years back, I believe. And but I did read that one already. But I wanted to, like, there's times that I just really, really enjoy revisiting. There's times that I really, really do enjoy revisiting some of his books. Especially, if they're favorites, obviously. And I finished with that one yesterday while I was finishing up the coloring pictures that I did. That I just showed you guys. I did finish that one up, and so then I started on, and this is another collection of like novellas and short stories by him. This one is called, I think it's Full Dark, No Fireworks or something like that. And so I did, okay, now we're going to take the water and we're going to watch the magic happen, guys. So I did start that one. And we're going to watch the magic happen. Now, because I put gesso on this seems to take it quite a bit further than it does for the most part, like an ungessoed project. I don't think the paint would go as far. So I'm just, see, this is where the magic happens, guys. Look at this. And I gotta say, like, I love these as much as I love my Neo 2s. These are really, really nice watercolor pencils. And like I said, it works very well with the Polychromos. So I'm going to be able to do quite a lot of shading and stuff with this. And I'm going to just kind of bring the darker out into this just a little bit to get it to blend. Yep. So when this dries a little bit, it's going to we're going to get some really nice color on this. Yes. And then I'm going to take and do the other side as well. And I'm just spreading it, you know. I'm just spreading it like I'm trying to make sure that it stays within the lines. And I got my Pentel Aqua brush. And I've got a smaller one. I have like 3 different sizes, and for something like this, I think the smaller one does a little bit better in helping to maintain some control. So I'm kind of making a pink flower pot, kind of reddish pink flower pot. Like this was supposed to be red, but it's looking a little bit more pink. But I am going to go in here and put in some shading with some pencils. But doing things like this, like a big space with some watercolor stuff, it makes it nice because then you can cover a big area in a pretty good short amount of time. Yes. So I'm going to go ahead and let that dry, and then after that dries, I will come back in with the pencils, and I'll come in here and do some highlights, maybe kind of cleaning some things up a little bit. That way it doesn't look as streaky. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and work on her skin tone next. So I'm going to go ahead and start like on her face. Okay. So I'm just going to put just some light layers here. And I'll bring the water over in just a minute. And by just adding just a little bit here and there, I can do some shading and stuff. Okay. With the watercolor pencils, I can do some shading and stuff with the watercolor pencils, hopefully without smearing what I've already done on the flower pot. And then can work on a little bit more. Okay, now let's get our water brush. See, this is where the magic happens, guys. You add this water, and this is just this is where all the magic occurs. Bring a little bit down over here. I mean, this is just amazing, amazing stuff. And then I'll bring in more pencil as we need it. Now, when I get done with all of this, then what I will end up doing is taking the Polychromos and just doing some shading and some highlighting with this. But this is going to work out really well because of the gessoed paper. It really is. Now, it will, like I said, it will kind of make, it might freak you out a little bit, like if you're not used to it, because it might freak you out a little bit when you go to use this, or when you go to gesso, because it does kind of make the paper like really fragile until it starts to dry a little bit. So, but you just need some patience, and you just need to let it sit and dry, and it will be okay. You just have to give it time for it to sit and dry a little bit, and then it'll be all right. And I got just a little bit of, it kind of dried a little bit. Now it doesn't want to blend, but I should be able to go back in there and fix that. Okay. So I'll go back in there and fix that later on when I get ready to use the actual Polychromos. So then we're going to take this pencil again, and we'll work down a little bit onto the skin tone. Okay. I'm just going to put a little bit here. And then I think this is part of her arm. I'm just taking just a little bit of this peach color. Kind of looks like a coral color, doesn't it? And then again, watch the magic happen. And sometimes, like when I did this before, I had a bigger aqua brush, and it did okay for the bigger areas, but then like when I get up to the lines, I didn't get the control. So a couple people suggested to use a smaller one, which I had, but I wanted to cover those bigger areas, but it just seems that when I get too close to the lines, the bigger one just doesn't want to let me control it real well. So then it goes way out of the lines, and I hate it when that happens. Alright. So there's some skin tone. Boy, that's going to bug me up there, the way it just... the way that just doesn't want to blend. I need to try to blend into that a little bit. It's going to drive me absolutely bonkers. Okay, well, that's better. Let's have to bring it over here just a little bit. See, it's... yeah, I'm gonna have to fix that a little bit, because right there, I just didn't get it blended out, and it dried before I could. And what happens is when these dry, they don't move. It's like Inktense. When it dries, it does not want to. It does not want to move. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get some other colors, and we'll be back to work on a little bit more of this, and we'll see what else we can do. All right, so I think we're gonna go ahead and make her hair blonde. I thought about making her a redhead, but I think we'll do some really, really nice blonde hair here. So I'm going to take a yellowy color, and I'm going to just kind of color in the hair. Again, I will go back over and, okay, I'm just going to make sure we're in frame. I will go back over and use the Faber Castel Polychromos to do some highlighting on the hair, as I will do with everything else. So I'm just going to take and color in most of the hair, and then we'll take the water to it and see how it comes out. So what I have is 150 set of the Albrecht Durer watercolor pencils, and these pencils are They're the equivalent of the Polychromos, only in watercolor format. They have the same colors as the Polychromos, but just in watercolor format. I think this is part of her hair. We're going to pretend it is anyway. So if you want some really good watercolor pencils that that will work very well with the Polychromos, I mean, you can't really beat these. You really can't. Okay. So again, we're going to watch the magic happen with our water. And I'm just going to take it and just bring it down over here into the where I think the hair is. Okay, you got to kind of be careful a little bit because it's still watercolor, and watercolor tends to spread just because of the nature of the medium. So you do kind of have to, kind of watch what you're doing. And I am certainly no expert in this, as you can probably tell. But it is much easier to control watercolor pencils. It really is. It's much easier to control watercolor pencils. And these aqua brushes are very handy. Okay, I think some pinks and blues will look pretty. Let's see how this is going to turn out. So I'm going to take the blue and I'm just going to run a line over here across where this flower pot thing is. I think this is the edge of the flower pot. So we will work on that. Okay. So I haven't really seen any movies lately. I've been really busy. We've been really busy with Lions Club stuff lately. So I've not really had a lot of time to watch movies or a whole lot of videos even lately. I've watched a few, but nothing really significant. I did watch Shalene's latest video where she showed some Happy Mail and some coloring books that she got. I did watch one of Anne's grayscale videos. She goes by A Colorful Life now. So what I think we're going to do is we're going to take some of this blue and we're going to color in some of these little things here, because I think that would look really pretty. So she goes by A Colorful Life. And I think we're just going to do some of these at random. So again, I'm going to take the blue, and for this one I'm just only going to do just a little dab of the blue in these, because these are some pretty small areas. So I'm just gonna kind of do just a little dab of blue in some of these, and then we'll take the water and we'll do a little bit more. Okay. Because this will spread. And then we'll take pink and we'll do some more with pink. Let's see. I think this one will look really pretty with some blue. Okay. So then we're just going to take our water and we're just going to spread it. And take the water and just spread it. Just blend it out. And I will, again, like I said, I will take the Polychromos and I will do some highlighting in here of these. But yeah, like I was saying, we've been really busy with our Lions Club stuff. We had a big convention to go to a couple weeks ago, so we did that. And then the week after that, there was a barbecue competition. My husband and I are certified barbecue competition tasting judges. So we went up to do an event to judge that. And this was our first one that we've ever done because we just took the class in February. So this was just mainly to get us some experience. We didn't judge a professional one. We did mainly this was a, they call it a backyard event, which was it's kind of an amateur one. So when you do one of those, they, let's see, should I make this one blue? When you do one of those, they mainly do chicken and ribs. So that's what we did. That's what we judged, was chicken and ribs. And it was good. Like, there was some that was really good. There was some that wasn't as good. You know, but you score it accordingly, you know? That's what you do. So we had a lot of fun with that. We did. We had quite a lot of fun with that. I wonder if that's her ear. I can't really tell. Well, if it is, she's got a blue ear now. Oh. But sometimes, so again, we're just going to take some of the blue and we're just going to do some random spots of blue. And then we'll come back in and do a little bit more with some pink on these. There's a lot of different ones here. So you can do quite a bit. And I'm just being random. Like I'm gonna do some blue ones and I'm gonna do some pink ones. Yep. We'll see what happens with these. And I should have gone like every other one with this, but I did not. And some of this is gonna be more like some of this is gonna kind of look pretty similar to that acrylic background, but that's okay. What I should have done was I should have taken, I should have done them one at a time and then filled them in. That way I knew I wasn't going to miss any. But that's okay. So then, was it last weekend? What did we do last weekend? Oh my gosh, like I'm losing it. Last weekend was Memorial Day weekend. So I went to sing for our Memorial Day service that we had on Monday. That was the Monday after we did the barbecue on Saturday. Then last weekend we had a dinner that we had to go to Saturday night. Yesterday was free and clear, thank goodness. And Friday I had an afternoon meeting on Friday, which that was quite interesting. Quite a lively group that we had. Some more than others. It was quite interesting. So we did that, and so I was really, really glad to have that day off on Sunday, because I'm telling you what, I'm really getting sick and tired of us having to do something over the weekend all the time. It just seems like I've not had a free weekend since, you know, since April, and it's getting to be a little bit old. It's getting to be just a little bit old, and I really want some time over the weekend to just do what I'd like to do, you know, without us having to be obligated to do something. You know, because we have, you know, during the year from September to like, well, September to December is our choir's Christmas season. Okay, so then I'm going to do the same thing with some pink. It's our choir's Christmas season, and so we, you know, we do our music with that, and then we take a little break for a couple of weeks, and we start up again in January, and that's when we have the spring season. And then April is our concerts that we have for the spring season. And then, you know, we're done for the summer, really. You know, except for maybe a couple of other dates and stuff. Most of those I don't really go to because it's a little far away from where I live. But you know, but I'll tell you what, like, I love having just a relaxing summer where I'm not having to do much of anything. But just here lately, we've had stuff to do just about every weekend, and it's really getting old. And I just would like some time to just not have much to do on the weekends sometimes, you know? Like, I understand weekends are busy times for a lot of people, but there's just times that I just want some free time without having to worry about go here, go there, do this, do that. And I'm just taking some of this pink that I have left over on this brush, and I'm painting in some of this stuff. Now, I do want to show you guys one thing that did happen, and this was because right here, you know, I made a lot of passes with the water, so there was one area where it did go through, right there. It'll be okay after, you know, after it dries all the way, but it was because I made a couple of passes with that water trying to get that to blend in. But if this was not gessoed, this would have been just a nightmare. So it's good that I gessoed this. Okay, so we're gonna take, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the color down, and then I'm gonna take the brush and just, you know, fill it in one at a time, so I know I'm not gonna forget something. Okay, make sure we're in frame. Sometimes the blue is so light that I have a hard time seeing what I'm doing with it. Okay. So then I'm going to take, and then I'm going to go ahead and fill it in with the brush. Now, I'm not going to care too much if it mixes, because I'm not going to care too much if it mixes, because I can go back in and fix that up. That's not going to be a big problem.
So these are just some light washes that I'm doing over this, and I don't know why I'm doing like one at a time.
But I wanted to kind of do some random stuff here. But I will go back in with the Polychromos, like I said, and I'll do a little bit more of this. Actually, I may not. I may just dispense with doing the watercolor pencils at this point on these little things, and just go in with the pencils or the Polychromos and see what I can do with them, because it gets to the point where it gets a little bit tedious trying to figure out what I did. So I think I'm gonna, and this is why we play, guys, you know, this is why we play and see what works and what we like, what we don't like, and all that good stuff. So I think what I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna stop with the watercolor pencils, and I'll come back with the Polychromos. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and take some Polychromos now, and we're going to work on our little flower pot first of all. So I got some similar colors to what I did with the watercolor pencils, and I'm just going to add just to kind of clean it up a little bit. I'm just going to add some pencil in here just to kind of clean it up a little bit, and maybe kind of go over where some of this kind of streaked out just a little bit. So and I shouldn't have to do too much. What I really want to concentrate on is getting this to, you know, to blend and shade and stuff. So we'll take some of the darker, and I'm just going to go kind of around the edges where I was, and then we'll get this to blend out and shade a little bit more. So, like I was saying, we've been pretty busy. Thank goodness I got some time this week to kind of just do my thing. So I wanted to go ahead and get a color and chat video out, you know, before things got super busy again. I do want to. One thing I do want to do is I got quite a bit of writing to do on my stories to get caught up on that. So I'll be doing quite a bit of work on that over the next week or so. I did manage to get a chapter out in my Forever in Time story, which is awesome, because it needed it. Most of my stories need some extra TLC, because most of them are in need of some updates. It's just been, sometimes like I get into a writing funk. It's like anything else, you know, you get into a funk, and it's hard to get out of sometimes. And I mean, not that I was in that big of a funk, it was just when I'm busy, when I'm real busy with other stuff, like it's really hard to, it's really hard to concentrate and actually get done what you need to get done. Okay, so then I'm just going to take, I'm going to take this, goodness. Sheena! The dogs are going nuts over here. So then I'm just going to take it, and I'm just going to try to get some of this blended in, although this looks a little dark. This looks a little bit dark. I'm going to have to maybe grab something a little bit lighter, but that's okay, because I got this one here. I can go in with something that's a little bit lighter and blend this out. But there's definitely a few coloring books that I want to pick up. But I have to wait because after the pen show, we're not broke. We're not broke, but we are, and after, I did get some books and stuff from Walmart, like I was saying, but I did, let's see, I wonder if I can get some, maybe if I just do this lighter one here, I can get that to blend in nicer. Like I said, I did get a few books from Walmart, and I got oh yeah, I got one more coming in from Amazon. It should arrive today, so I'll probably just do that in another video and show that to you guys. Now the one from Walmart is going to be, or the coloring book showcase from Walmart, like I said, is going to be uploaded later on. Okay. So this kind of did what I wanted it to do. Yeah, this kind of did what I wanted it to do. Sort of. Okay. But after that, let me tell you guys, it's going to be slim pickings around here. Because we're still recovering from the pen show too. We're still recovering from the pen show too, I kid you not. Alright, I think... Alright, I think we got the flower pot pretty good. Yeah. Alright. So, now I think we'll do a little bit of work on the skin tones. Okay. I did end up getting a couple of cases for my Polychromos and some of my other colored pencils. I will also show you guys that in a video because I know you guys will be wanting to see that. So I will end up showing you guys that. And let's see, I think I'm going to grab this darker one here. I'm still needing to get some cases for some of my other sets, which I will do. Okay. Yeah, I had a few little rough spots right there because the water, it kind of dried like before I got it blended out all the way like I wanted it to. So we're going to take some of the darker, and I'm going to kind of just maybe go around her face a little bit and maybe give it a little bit of shadow. We'll blend that out in just a minute. And we'll do this other side. It's gonna make it look like she's been out in the sun. And all we need to do is just kind of blend it out, guys, and it looks really vibrant, I think. Now, I do have a blender pencil that I could take advantage of too, but these Polychromos, they do pretty well with just taking the lighter one and just kind of blending it in where it should be. And I need to do her eyes too. But see, what I could end up doing is I could take the blender pencil. Let's see. Where is it? See, we could just take the blender pencil and do it like that. But I think, like I said, just doing it with the Polychromos seems to help quite a lot. And I really like how, oh my gosh, I really like how that looks right there. I really do. I like how that looks. And then I could just take maybe just a little bit up here. Blend that out just a little bit. Yeah, I really like how this looks. Okay. I really like how that looks. Look at that, you guys. Oh my gosh, look at that. And then I think we're going to do just a little bit kind of on her arms and shoulders. Like so. And then just maybe just kind of down the arm a little bit. Just a little bit of shadow right there. I think will go a long way. So, but we ended up turning on our AC yesterday for the first time this summer. Some people, man, they have theirs on like, I don't want to say year round, but they end up turning theirs on like in April. But we don't do that. Like we try to keep the windows open as much as we can, you know, so that we can get some air circulating in here, which is good. So that makes it really nice, you know, to get some air circulating in here when you can. But yeah, we turned on our AC yesterday for the first time this year. We had it off for a little bit last night and this morning, but I turned it back on. After the husband left for work, I turned it back on because I knew it was going to get hot again, and no sense in letting things totally heat up and that it has to work harder to cool things off again. So we have central air, thank goodness for that. Let me tell you. Try to keep my hair out of the way. We have central air, thank goodness for that, because it would drive me absolutely crazy if we did not. I would have to do my coloring in I'd have to do my coloring in the in just one room, because it would just I wouldn't be able to handle it. My colored pencils would melt. They really would. My colored pencils would melt. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab some blue, I think, and then I really like how that skin tone turned out. I really do. I do. And I think we're gonna make her eyes blue. And boy, we have a lot of blue in this picture, with the background, and then with her eyes, and then we'll do some blue flowers and stuff. Let's see. So here's a blue that would work. use of blue that would work together, I think. Well, we'll see how that works together. This one looks kind of like a bluish purple, but we'll see how that works. So we're gonna work on, I'm gonna go ahead and do her eyes. And then we'll, I'm gonna try to keep my hair out of the way while I get the smaller spaces in here. And then I'll take the darker one, and then we'll do a little bit of blending. Oh my gosh, she is so cute. She's so cute. I love her. I love her. She's adorable. Then we'll just try to blend that together as much as we can. But I love her. She's so cute. I really like this book. I really do. Okay. I'm sorry for the silence right now, guys. When I'm doing the smaller areas, like, and when I know I need to sort of blend something, I kind of just tend to concentrate just a little bit so I can do that. Okay. All right. Okay, good enough for her eyes, I think. And then I think I'm going to take some of this blue, and we're going to work on some of these little flowers that we did. So I know I colored some of this in pink, but what I'm going to try to do is we're going to try to, we'll do as much as we can with the blue. And then maybe I'll go in with some pink and see what I can do with it too. So I'm going to take the darker blue. Now some of this is so faint that, that it's a little bit hard to tell. What's what, but we will manage. We'll manage it. And now I like that this is quite a bit darker than the acrylic background, because this is going to blend in pretty well, I think. Okay, I'll take it and see, it'll blend in. It's going to blend in pretty well. I might go over with I should have maybe done this in a different color near this background. I may have to go over with a micron pen and do a little bit of accentuating of these lines, because I don't know, it might be that it's just too similar. I have to see how it looks. And if the pink and blue mix a little bit, like, I'm not going to get too upset about it. Okay. Actually, that's really not too bad, quite honestly. And even the little flower pot here. I thought we colored this pink a little bit, but it didn't seem like it showed up very well. So we'll just go over, we'll just do it, we'll do it like this. And we'll blend it in, and then we'll get some, we'll get a shaded effect right there. Okay. Okay, now this part I may get pink, because that is obviously pink right there. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do this part over here blue. I got some pretty dark, or not dark, but some pretty detailed lines, like right about here. But I'm going to bring them like this. Let's see. We'll bring it like so. And we'll blend it in a little bit. Because we do want a shaded effect, if we can get that. Okay. I think I like how this is going to look. It's kind of a bluish purple, isn't it? Like, I really like how this is going to look, I think, guys. Okay. So how's the weather been where you guys are? How's your guys' weather been? Has it been really hot? I bet it's been that time of the year where it's going to start to really get hot and stuff. I'm sure. Yeah, I think I want to do some pink right there. Yeah, I'm going to find some pink, and then we'll go back to some blue. Alright, let's see where we got some pink at. So, like I said, I did get a few more, I did get some cases for my Polychromos and some other sets. Which I'll show you. I'll probably show you guys that in the video where I show you guys the coloring books and stuff I got. Okay. So I will be doing that. And then I think if I take this darker color right here, I should get a nice blended effect. Okay. So these here are my pinks, and let's see, we'll go with the darker one first, and we're gonna just accentuate that. And the, oops, uh-oh, I think I screwed up. Crap. I think I messed up. Which means we're going to have to go back and fix up her little skin tone because I started coloring in the wrong place. Alright. We do not want that to be pink. All right. We do not want that to be pink. Which means I'm gonna have to grab my little skin tones again. For shame, for shame, for shame. All right. Let's see what kind of damage I did. I'm glad it erased easily. Because I really did not want to screw up her skin tone. All right. Now I've got to put the shading back in. All right. There we go. She's all fixed. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and take our pinks or reds or whatever you want to call them, and we're going to work on a couple more of these little flowers. I got blue to work on more flowers down here. So I can go ahead and go around the little petals here. Actually, let's do that with the darker color here. Go around the edges of the petals, and then we'll blend them in with the lighter color. That'll be kind of nice. So, I'm not sure what else to talk about. I know we've been so busy, but you know, it's just been all go, 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 go lately, and I know I've talked about that. So, a new pack for The Sims 4 came out on the 30th, I think it was, and I got it. It's a Parenthood pack, and not like the movie Parenthood, but like, you know, your like you're parenting your kids, you know. And now I don't play Sims 4 as much as I do Sims 3. I'm still a diehard Sims 3 fan. I always will be. Always will be, because that's the one that I learned on. Although I do have Sims 2, and I also have the original Sims. And I also enjoy playing Sims Medieval, which is another great game. But my all-time favorite is Sims 3, because there's a lot more to it. You know, there's a lot more meat to it. And it's what I learned on. It's what my heart's always going to belong to, glitches and all, because let me tell you, that game is full of glitches. But it's probably my favorite. It's definitely my favorite one to play, because it just is. There's some really cool stuff in Sims 2 as well. But if you're used to Sims 3, and if you're open to the whole open world plan, you won't like the loading screens. And a lot of people have been really upset with, like when Sims 4 came out and stuff, there's a lot of upset people with Sims 4 as a whole, you know, for a lot of different reasons. But people were kind of upset that they didn't have the whole open world, and it was, I think the way it was explained was that so the game wouldn't be so so hoggy, like, you know, such a hog on your memory, you know, on your computer, because when you have the whole open world plan, well, The Sims 3 is definitely a it's definitely nothing to sneeze at, because it does take up a lot of room, and it also uses up a lot of your RAM and stuff, like on your computer, a lot of memory and a lot of your you know, usage. I think probably we'll put that shadow right there. So it's nothing to sneeze at, but it's still going to be my all-time favorite version of the game to play. And actually, it's probably just about my only video game I play. You know, I don't really get into the whole shoot 'em up games, and like, everybody and their mama was playing Minecraft. Everybody and their mama was playing Minecraft, but I totally suck at Minecraft. Like, I tried it, and I just, oh my gosh, it just was not my thing. It just was not my thing. So, no freaking way am I going to play Minecraft. I mean, I tried. Like I said, guys, I tried, but it did not work for me. All right. So we're going to take the darker blue, and I probably should have, I don't know how well this lighter blue is going to do against this acrylic background, like the color of the acrylic. I probably could have made the acrylic different color, but sometimes, like, I mean, I don't often plan this stuff out. Like, I don't often plan out like what colors I'm gonna use, like, for the different flowers. Sometimes I do a little bit, but I don't really pull like 25 colors out at once for a picture. I never have. And I can't see myself doing that now. What else was I gonna say? I'm running out of stuff to talk about. I'm gonna put some of this darker here. Try to get it to blend in. There's some of this that I didn't color in with the watercolor pencils because it would have been like just too tedious, like with that water brush, and I just didn't do it. I don't know if that's going to blend in too much. I mean, it blends, like, it really blends in with that acrylic background. It really does. And I don't know if it's just, like, if it's just a little bit too much, too similar. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I guess one thing that's a consolation is like if I would have gone like over the lines or something, then it would have, you know, then you know, this is a good way to fix it. It's almost kind of like the little flower pot sitting on water, isn't it? Like it's almost like it's kind of floating on water, isn't it? Look at that. Just look at that. Alright, I think we're going to do, I got a blue flower here. I think maybe I'll do a couple more of these flowers and then we'll probably call it quits for this session and then come back and work on this a little bit more, or I will finish it off camera and show it to you guys. So, again, this blue is like right next to the acrylic background, and it's kind of a similar blue where it's going to blend in. I guess maybe that's not always a bad thing, but I don't know. Maybe if we put the dark stuff here and then just blended it down. Like so. And then I can always do pink elsewhere. But we might as well keep it consistent. We might as well just keep it consistent. And then we're going to take the lighter color and I really like how this is going to look though for the most part. I think this is going to look really, really pretty. I hope we're in frame, guys. I don't know how much more battery I have left on this. I've been going for a while, I know. And I know I'm going to have to come back and do another session of this, because there's no way that this is going to get finished up in one. It never is. The only thing I have ever finished up on camera with you guys is the Crayola challenge, but that doesn't really count. That doesn't really count too much. Okay. Alright guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and call it quits for this session. I'll say goodbye. And I'll come back and do some more in another part if you guys want to see me do a little bit more on this picture. Otherwise, I will finish it off camera, but we'll see what we can do maybe in a part 2. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I haven't decided. I may finish this one up in a part 2, or I may just move on to another picture and finish this one off camera. We'll have to see what strikes my fancy, I guess. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and stop here for now anyway, like I said, and we'll see you guys in another Color and Gab very soon. Go ahead and hit the like button, leave a comment, and tell me what you think. And of course, hit the subscribe button. And while you are at it, go ahead and hit that bell. Then you'll be notified when I upload new videos. You guys have a great day. As I said, leave me a comment, tell me what you think, and we'll talk to you all later. All right, bye guys.